Hello lovelies, I think this is part 3 all about polymorphous light eruption, and why I'm doing these videos is because I knew nothing of this condition before me getting this condition, and that's normally how things work, right? So the doctors refused to see me due to staff training and due to the fact they work on like emergencies, and I said right, I'll ring up tomorrow and book in an emergency appointment. I could have waited an extra day, I've been waiting so long as it was. And she went, well, you're not necessarily going to get an appointment tomorrow. And I said, well, if I ring up at 8 o'clock then surely you will give me an appointment. You won't refer me to the pharmacy again when I've already been referred there. The pharmacist said to me, you need to tell them that you've already been referred here and we can't do anything for you. So she said, well, you could do. She said, but I don't think you'll get an appointment. She said, because we're full to capacity. And I'm like thinking, what? Right, okay, so there is emergency appointments. Anyway, she said you need to ring 111 at this stage and talk through your symptoms with them, and they may want you to go in. So I rung 111. This is what this video is about. I rung 111. They talked through my symptoms and they were really extremely worried. The guy that talked me through my symptoms said, you know, have you had anything like this before? And I said, never. He said, well, I need you to come in. Can you be here for a certain time? Can you be at urgent care in the next 2 hours? And I said, yeah. Not realising it wasn't an actual appointment I was getting. So it was at 4 o'clock and I thought I had a 4 o'clock appointment to see a doctor. This is how little I go to the hospital. I don't go to the hospital because I've got white lab coat syndrome. That's one for another video. Who else has got white lab coat syndrome? The sheer panic when I'm there is just unbelievable. So I went there. I got there way before 4 o'clock, about 3:30. And he said the waiting time was 2.5 hours. So I was triaged quite quickly, to be honest. And she was like, what's your doctor said about it? And I said, doctor? I said, I'd be lucky to get an appointment with the doctor. And she said, well, who have you seen? And I said, a pharmacist. And she went, what? She was, I can't believe it. She went, they're sending you to the pharmacist. And I said, yeah. And I said, well, they think it's polymorphous light eruption. She didn't say whether she thought it was or not. I said, I do believe it's an allergy to the sun, because I did all the research on Dr. Google of all things. So yeah, I was waiting around for ages. Some people would say it's not that long, and I think it isn't that long because I wasn't in A&E, I was in urgent care. So in total I think it was about 3.5 hours I was waiting, and it's not that long, but those seats at urgent care or in any hospital, they are so hard. Towards the end of me waiting, my bum was so numb, and literally then I started my head, I don't know whether I was having an anxiety attack or what, but my face was going so red. I had someone sat next to me and said, are you alright, love? Your face has gone really, really red. And I said, I don't know. So I think it maybe I just got extremely hot for whatever reason. Could have been an anxiety attack, I don't know. I have had a few of them in my lifetime. But I didn't find any problems with the breathing. All I found was my face was going extremely red, and then basically my face was pulsing, which I've never seen before. Maybe it's just that I was getting hot. Like I said, I don't really know what happened there. And then about half an hour later, the doctor called me in, and I'm like, finally. Not to the doctor, but just under my breath. He was really, really nice. So literally I was there 3.5 hours and I was in with the doctor 5 minutes. It's just typical, isn't it? Sod's law. So he looked at my face and he went, oh yeah, it's very angry, isn't it? And he said, what's happened? And I said, the sun. And he said, what? And I went, the sun happened. And he went, the sun's done that to your skin? And I said, yeah. I said, I'm being told it's polymorphous light eruption. I said, I've not done anything, I've not changed my skincare routine, so I know it's nothing like that. And again, he said, and you're wearing SPF as well? And I said, yes. I said, and over the last couple of days I've wore a hat and glasses, and it's just getting worse, especially this, because this weren't there. It just got worse. So every time I go out in the sun, I have a flare up. I will put a picture of what that flare-up looks like. So I've not been going out in the sun for the last couple of days, just until basically I can get into the doctors. I've tried getting into the doctors for a routine appointment. They won't see me until the 3rd of August, which I just think is absolutely insane. I know they're busy. I know. I can't get in for an emergency appointment either because they're busy. When did a pharmacy become a doctor? I know they've trained, I know they can do certain things, but they're not miracle workers, and they can't give someone who's got epilepsy, for instance. They absolutely refuse to give me antihistamines. So then I should have been sent back to the doctor, took my skin, and they should have given me some antihistamines like the urgent care doctor did. Because the urgent care doctor said you can have them, but just in small doses. So I'm on one a day. And it doesn't feel as itchy as it has done previously, but there is still an itch there. These antihistamines apparently are going to last up to 24 hours, and then I can take another one tomorrow. I just wanted to come on and talk about this. In another video, I'll probably talk about what I'm using on my skin, just in case you have PMLE, Polymorphous Light Syndrome, and it's new to you and you don't know what to use. I'm not saying use this because this might not work for you either. I mean, it's working for me so far, and I'm being told Aveeno is the best, so it's a couple of Aveeno products. So yeah, I'll talk about that in one of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.